What happens when the largest reptile on the planet has a battle to the death with the largest land carnivore? Look at it, the stuff of nightmares, the closest thing on Earth to a true monster. Astonishingly, the saltwater crocodiles have existed for over 200 million years. Any natural variation imparts no advantage. It has remained unchanged. A prehistoric example of predator perfection. In 1945, in World War II, the Battle of Ramree Island saw Japanese soldiers forced to flee into the mangrove swamps. The swamps were infested with saltwater crocodiles. Of the 1,000 soldiers that entered, only 20 came out alive. The majority of those that died were crushed and eaten by these giant reptiles in the pitch-black darkness of the night. It is hard to imagine the terror of them attacks. These are true monsters of the modern world. Is there anything that can take one down in a battle to the death? Maybe. What about a land carnivore that hunts whales? Doesn't sound real, does it? But yes, the polar bear hunts and kills beluga whales, walruses and narwhals. They seek out blubber-rich mammals, drag them onto the snow and eat them alive, typically eating 100 pounds of fat in a single meal. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore on Earth, and although a land mammal, the polar bear is an awesome swimmer, even capable of stalking and catching seals in the water. Adult males can weigh up to 1,600 pounds and use that weight to smash through ice and crack the bodies of its prey. Although this seems enormous, almost 10 times the weight of an average human, the saltwater crocodile weighs up to 2,650 pounds. That's 1,000 pounds heavier than the polar bear. A specialist large mammal hunter, the polar bear certainly has the ability to tackle an animal as massive as the saltwater crocodile. But taking on an enormous reptile rather than a mammal, well, that's a very different challenge to the large fatty mammals of the Arctic. Seals are by far the main prey of the polar bear. In extreme circumstances, the polar bear has been known to take on the mighty walrus. Like the crocodile, the walrus has a very dangerous primary weapon on its face, which the bear must avoid. The two main problems that the polar bear faces are avoiding the deadly jaw and penetrating the crocodile's thick reptilian skin. In this fight, we ignore the climate, and we battle on land and in the water, as both animals are entirely proficient at killing in both. This would be one epic fight. The battle begins with a tense face-off. When it comes to mouths, the crocodile easily wins here. The polar bear absolutely must avoid being bitten by that jaw. One bite, and the crocodile will roll around, ripping an enormous chunk out of the polar bear, almost certainly killing it. But can the polar bear avoid being bitten? Possibly. After all, they can drag away young walruses whilst avoiding the fatal stab of tusks from the adults. The polar bear must maneuver itself around the body of the crocodile, get on top of its back, and apply its 1,600 pounds of mass to control the croc's body. Stomping on the crocodile's head and neck, as if breaking through ice, might stun the croc. But could it potentially even kill it? Can it bite through the crocodile's 1-inch thick osteoderm armor-plated skin? I'm not so sure. Given enough time, probably. In the heat of battle, with a moving target? Unlikely. Assuming that the polar bear can indeed get on the croc's back, it probably can't deliver much damage to the crocodile quickly enough. Being 50% muscle, the crocodile can still move under the bear's weight, but will struggle to pivot to a position where it can use that lethal jaw. In a land battle, the fight will likely end in a stalemate, the polar bear being unable to kill the crocodile, and the crocodile being unable to land a deadly bite on the polar bear. However, when water is involved, the odds shift massively in the crocodile's favor. The maneuverability of the crocodile dramatically increases, able to land a killer bite on the polar bear every single time. The polar bear would almost immediately succumb to a crushing bite, and then either drowned by the croc or have a significant chunk of body torn away, leading to fatal blood loss. In our scenarios, on balance, the saltwater crocodile wins this battle and demonstrates why it has been such a successful apex predator for 200 million years, long before bears walked the earth. See you next time. Bye-bye.